Hey, what's up, friend? You are you interested in lack of skill? Yeah. Or maybe some suck. I'm just a new guy for the love of game. We gon' go, I know it's bad. Times have changed, but not by mad. Don't you know that games are my thing? Yeah, I know it's getting real late. Come on, look at me. I even do storytelling. Also a podcast on great game subjects. Okay, yeah, I'm not a Markiplier or a PewDiePie. But hey, that's what makes me so unique, right? 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 Yodeling. Sorry, I don't mean to be so creepy. Hello, welcome everybody. This is I, your humble host. Sometimes humble. I'm feeling humble today, but I'm not really humble if I say that. I'm NikoTheLegend, also known as the well-mannered teenager and the snowflake. And awkward intros aside, I hope you're ready for your ho-ho-ho and your Christmas carols and your coals and your socks, because you all know you've been a shitty person during this pandemic time. How dare you? I'm just kidding. But seriously, have you ever had a guy wear green in front of a green screen? I don't think it's the smartest thing I could have done for today. Unfortunately, and there'll be many more instances like that. But real talk, thanks everybody for stopping by and checking out this stream. This is another great collab with, she's pretty much a celebrity, like at this point, especially on the Niko show. She is the special guest of all time. And before we get into that, we're going to be talking, Saintwolvinn and I, that's her name. I was about to skip that. I'm sorry, Saint. Her and I are going to be going into the deep dive of the latest Mass Effect trailer. Now, I've already done a video on the Mass Effect trailer, just kind of discussing what I saw and how I felt about it. So that is on the channel. It's like the latest video that I've done. And then we'll get a little bit of input from Saintwolvinn, but she's already done a deep dive of this video. So it's going to be awesome and cool to, you know, to hear what she has to say again, just on the Niko format this time around. So she's pretty much hot off the press, and I'm really excited to have her back. It's always a pleasure. So, are you guys ready for this? Because I am. There is many things to talk about, and we're going to be cutting this to an hour sharp, like a Oni blade or Omni blade or Mantis blades if you've been playing Cyberpunk. Oh, those PS4 and Xbox copies. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's bring on the fair maiden of the West? The West, is it? I think it's the West. Okay. Hello?
Jesus Christ.
Why? What happened? Did I scare you?
No.
I just said hello.
Nah, you did. Because I was fucking watching like your stream
Thank you.
on
I
my
appreciate
computer. And I was like super lost. I was like, oh my god, what's happening?
It's like she's saying my
Okay,
name, but
hello.
I'm not here. So, how's it going?
Yeah, God. Everything's going well. Everything's going well. I'm gonna put you here. The Niko what?
Yeah, you put me on
Anyway, yeah,
the main monitor. That'd be great.
NikoTheLegend.
Superimpose my big head.
Here it is. Yeah, everything's going fine. Everything's, I don't know, as it should. I don't know.
Yeah, just everyone on the planet's on tilt right now.
Yeah, everything's fine.
We're trying to match the planet's tilt, so that's
basically.
So as I mentioned before we started talking, that you've already done a deep dive into this subject matter, and so you're all warmed up and good and ready to go, and it's probably still fresh in your memory banks. Me, not so much. I haven't done a deep dive in it. Only from what I've seen, I've kind of just speculated. So this is going to be pretty exciting. But before we start, Saintwolvinn, let's let everyone know where they can reach you. Platforms.
You guys can reach me on Instagram. You guys can reach me on Twitter. You guys can reach me on Twitch. You guys can reach me on YouTube. You can do all that, and it's all Saintwolvinn. You don't even have to like think about, oh my god, oh what's her name on this platform? It's all covered. all the same name.
Yeah, if you guys want an early Christmas gift, you just go either you check out her, especially because ladies first. Although sometimes I feel like a lady, so sometimes I can go first. I can get away with saying that stuff nowadays. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna here give you our nice collab with your eggnog that's spiked, hopefully. And I don't have an eggnog, but I got my Nico hat and my ugly Christmas sweater. Um, Before the holidays actually hit us, besides all the holiday shopping, which I hope you guys have gotten done by now. But if you haven't received your package yet, that's okay. You're not the only one. It's going to be interesting to see how this Christmas is going to go. And why not talk about one of our greatest franchises of all time, or hated of all time, depending on where, from a certain point of view, says Obi-Wan. Uh, yeah, this will be fun. Maybe we'll do another one before Christmas if her and I aren't doing anything special. I know I don't even know what I'm doing for Christmas, honestly. What are you doing for Christmas, Saint?
Uh, Nothing. Honestly, I
Perfect.
wish I had like something interesting,
All right.
but no.
Nico collab's always interesting. It's just like volunteer you for it. Great.
Like, hi.
She's happy and she's ready. I see that vodka.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah, I thought it was like just real quick before we get started. I thought it was badass how you were just one of the collabs we've done. Like I'll never forget it because it was just so you being the super chill, which was great. You were I think you were drinking a beer and eating chips, and I thought that was like the most badass thing I've ever seen. Do you remember doing that?
Yeah, like actually the main reason why I don't have a beer right now is because after the podcast, I am going out to drink more beer. So I kind of want to leave it for that.
Sweet. So yeah, it's a good thing you didn't drink anything because this collab is gonna be a buzzkill. Because I'm that guy at parties. I buzzkill everyone as soon as I walk through the door.
Christ.
You know, it's not me who goes into a party and just like, ah, crap, I don't want to be here. It's as soon as I come in, people look at me, they're like, ah, crap, I don't want to be here, and then they leave. I don't understand, Saint. I don't smell bad. Okay, real talk. We're gonna talk about the Mass Effect 5 teaser trailer. I think I just got giddy all of a sudden on stream. I don't know what it is. I had like a giant. I watched the season finale for Mandalorian, and I had
Hmm.
this giant sub, and I think it's hitting me real good. I'm like
Nice.
food drunk.
Nice. Lovely.
Okay, so as you all know, the massive Nico is Buzz Killington confirmed. Yes. No. Why am I celebrating that? It's terrible. I don't want that title. But haters make me famous, right? So the Mass Effect 4 or 5, whatever way you want to call it. Which I need to do a video on that. Just debating myself. Is it 4 or is it 5? Because I called it 5, and then Saint, you called it 4, and then I got comments of
Yes.
people saying like, "Oh my God, you called it the right thing. It's 5," and then people are like, "No, it's 4." I digress. Whatever, what do you want to call it? The next Mass Effect. That's what the teaser's even called.
Yeah.
The next Mass Effect game trailer teaser. It released like what, a week ago? Video game? Yeah, a week ago. Shit. Straight up. Yeah, a week ago, just about. And okay, we did a collab live stream of looking forward to the Dragon Age video, which we were all kind of like, it could have been better. It was okay, or it's like we've already seen this. What's going on here? Despite that, uh, we left the I
Yes.
left the Video Game Awards early, and then lo and behold, BioWare throws like this curveball of all curveballs for any Game Awards show, and released a Mass Effect teaser. And the only way I found out that it was like the last thing they released before closing the show was someone posted it to me, or someone messaged me like, "Hey, did you see the new Mass Effect trailer?" I'm like, "Huh?" I was like, "What? Like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about? Like, is this Dragon Age?" That was the only thing that was confirmed. But you know what? When I watched it, I was very happy with it. I liked the vibes I was getting. I liked the music. Everything about it was just so cool. It reminded me of being back in like 2006, 2007 when Mass Effect was first being established. It was, you know, it felt like I was ready to travel through space with my homies again. I really got that awesome sci-fi vibe, and this may be familiar territory for a lot of us because we love Mass Effect. We've played the hell out of it, and I honestly, my opinion, we're not going to be just talking about how we feel about the trailer, obviously, but I liked it a lot. I believe you liked it a lot too.
Yeah, I definitely liked it. Like, it's not. I don't think there's anything particularly unlikable about it. Like, you see Liara, that's it. That's like enough to like. And Shepherd armor, Liara and Shepherd armor, and you're done.
That's pretty
That's all
much
I
the only
need.
deep dive we need to do, honestly. It's like,
Yeah, that's
okay,
basically it.
we got a couple people from the old Mass Effect crew. I'm good for this game now. We're set. But we wish the reality could be like that. But we all know Bioware's record and EA. They like to screw things up in recent years. So, and then we get the Legendary Edition, of course, coming out. That's gonna really, yeah, don't. It's okay, don't cry. It's gonna really set us up for failure or success. So, cautiously optimistic. That's our two key words. Every single time her and I do a collab, it's always cautiously optimistic, and you just can't stress it enough. Um, so about this, now we're gonna get to the deep dive section. Um, as soon as I saw it, as soon as I saw like the first seconds of the trailer, which a lot of people already assumed that this could either be Andromeda 2 because it showed two galaxies, right? And then it, zooms into one of them, or somehow we're gonna go with one of those theories I came up with and other people came up with, of course, originally, that they're gonna somehow tie in both galaxies somehow. And we're gonna, and it kind of gives us that impression in the beginning of the video. Did you? I guess this is where I pass it along to you. So, how did you, when you did that deep dive video, how did you start it? Like, where was the diving taking place in the video?
Like, honestly, what I did, like, I watched the complete trailer and then I started like looking at different segments of the trailer, particularly,
Yeah.
where I found stuff that like maybe kind of drawed my attention or something like that. To me, honestly, the beginning was just a recap of the historical things of Mass Effect. Like, I didn't see anything, like notice anything weird because we'll get into that, but I'll tell you later why.
Ooh.
Yeah, suspense. Fuck yes.
Suspense has been the fucking key. Like, I don't even know, like, how they did it at the round table for meetings. Like, okay, guys, what is a word we can use to get people hyped up? Drama. We've already been using that. Let's use something new. It's a little original. Polished. Stop. Suspense. Like, yeah. That's it. That's it right there. All right. I like you, guy. You're a project director. But seriously, suspense has been the key word for this entire like future of Bioware when it comes to Mass Effect. Like, I didn't know we were gonna see a trailer, of course. No one knew if the Legendary Edition was actually real, so there was a lot of suspense there. You just got a bunch of those fucking leaks, and it's just crazy. It's crazy. So this trailer definitely left you with much suspense in its entirety, and now it's just like, my heart is like, when I was watching it, a little bit of a pitter patter. I was like, oh, sweet to see these characters. Yeah, I think that's the R. Oh, N7, thank God. So let's talk about the beginning of the video, Saint. So
Okay.
what went through your mind when you saw those two galaxies? Like, your initial thought process, and as soon as it zoomed into one of them, what was going through your noggin?
Honestly, like I didn't even pay attention to that. Like, I was paying a lot more attention to like what was being said, like audio wise,
Yeah. Oh, true.
than like visually, Like, obviously, like I did see some pretty obvious things like the mass relays and stuff like that. But I definitely did notice that like the audio, particularly, like it was kind of going through the history of Mass Effect. Like, you heard, words like first contact,
Hmm.
um some weird historical facts from Earth, but like nowadays Earth, a couple of years ago type deal.
Yeah.
And then it kind of went progressing, like humanity is now part of the large galaxy, stuff like that. I think it was, to me personally, probably like someone else would be like, oh my god, they're trying to, you know connect them, whatever. Whatever.
Oh,
To me,
SF.
yeah, I'm kidding. But to me, it was more like we're recapping the history of Mass Effect to create this kind of like, oop, oh, this is coming next. Oh, there's something going on. Yeah, kind of like to create the hype, to kind of bring the love of Mass Effect and all the years and humanity and its role and all that kind of stuff. To me, it was more that rather than going back to Andromeda because of the whole Andromeda was a shit show kind of thing, and I don't think
Yeah.
they'd want to go back to that.
Um,
At least not now.
yeah. So I felt the same way. I was just like, okay, cool, two galaxies. I didn't really think too much of it. Um, and as soon as you started hearing those voices and stuff, I thought that was pretty cool. It was a good way to kind of remind us of like what we liked about Mass Effect, because it may have been things we've heard in the game or just past events that that were such a big uh, pivotal part of the actual franchise. Like the historical aspect of it, and I think that's pretty badass for them to do. Um, it's really cool, and then it eventually just like it gets to like starts from the past, and then it gets to the present, which I thought was dope, and then it's like supposedly it's Liara that's talking, and I thought that was a really cool transition thing that they did, and then it and then it gets real grounded, and I really like that. I always like in watching anything space related, like on TV or something, or just reading, mainly TV. I always liked it when they did those animations where it's like, hey, we're outside of this galaxy and we zoom all the way in to on this planet's surface. I always appreciated that. That's always been a thing I enjoyed growing up, especially as a kid. I just thought that was neat. Um, now we can just do that with our fingertips with Google Earth, which is pretty crazy, right? Just zoom in.
Yes.
I could go creepy writer mode and just zoom in right to Saint's house and just you know be like, oh, okay, she drives a smart car. Interesting.
I wish. I wish I had a smart car. Fucking Tesla.
so,
God.
so, um, like, I really appreciate them doing that. It's the best thing you can do, honestly, because you want people to be, like I said, be reminded of why this franchise was so important. And what made you like it in the first place? Even though some of the stuff is muffled, and that's okay. I think that's fine. You can kind of you can understand or maybe pick out who's talking or what point is trying to be thrown across. It's just really cool. And as soon, actually, so what was the next deep dive you did into the video? Like, where was the next part saying?
Next part. Next part. Oh, next part was just. I think I focused a lot like on trying to figure out what was the canon ending, but like that, there are so many clues, and I think we all know it's destroy, right? But
Pew pew. That's right. Shepard did it.
yeah, yeah,
Our
yeah. That
man.
was yeah.
Our woman.
Um, whatever. Uh, it's. I think the next one was definitely like the mass relays that like they looked damaged, like
Mhm.
not like just like a little bit damaged, like they looked heavily damaged.
Yeah.
So
Did you think it
to me,
took
that was a
place
little
in the Milky
curious.
Way?
I think it did. Like
Okay.
honestly, yeah. I
I think
think it did. To be really honest.
I thought so too. Especially when we saw, you see the relay and then you hear the Reaper noise. By the way, that Reaper noise was the best part about that video. Honestly, like believe it or not, because that signified to me that I knew this was going to be a sequel to, let's just say, Mass Effect 3. I knew that that they were going back to their roots, that they were doing something that we all appreciate, and that Reaper noise was like the doorbell, and Bioware's at the door, and they're like, "Hey, we got the next Mass Effect game right here." I'm like, "Ha ha ha!" I'm like, "Man, what a great way to make me get those good feels." Did you talk about the Reaper sound effect at all, or was that?
Kind of in the same way that you're saying it. Kind of like, oh my god, so exciting! Woo, let's get the crew together. But like, I didn't really take it as. later I saw something later in the trailer that made me think like, okay, yeah, that's definitely not because like the Reapers are coming back or some weird shit like that. It would be a long ass like villain story, right? To like make a whole other game with even more fucking Reapers.
You know what?
I'd be like,
I
okay.
we talked about some crazy Mass Effect theories. Didn't we talk about how Shepard got truly indoctrinated, and he became part Reaper or something? And then like he's like this
Mm-hmm.
runaway Reaper or rogue Spectre type deal. Like pulls a Saren. Maybe he gets mind controlled by the Reapers still, because he's just been around them for so long that it's just in his DNA at this point. Um, we definitely mentioned that, which I thought was interesting. Um, I mean, I don't. There's okay. So here's the thing. There are so many Reapers out there, and I know it was on this like cataclysmic event that if you destroy the relays, then the Reapers are all gone. All synthetic life is gone, especially, and even the Geth are gone as well. Um, but but that's what they said about Order 66 with the Jedi, and there were some survivors. So, you know, uh, although not the same kind of execution, but kind of, I think the same philosophy applies. So I wouldn't doubt that there's maybe somebody out there. I mean, the collectors were trying to make a human Reaper, which was bombastic, which was crazy. Uh, I wouldn't doubt that there's crazy mad scientist people out there who are still possessed by, uh, you know, Harbinger and stuff like that, and even Sovereign that are
Mm.
trying to keep the Reaper thing alive. I mean, it can't be just the Geth who worship the Reapers. I'm sure there's always like some mad cult that's like, yeah, the Reapers, I love them.
Yeah.
They're the annihilation we deserve, because we've gotten too advanced. Yada, like basically the whole reason why Reapers wipe life anyway. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that'd be pretty cool, honestly, to keep them somehow in the loop because they had such a big impact. And then they're in the trailer, right? You know, I don't think that's just a coincidence that we hear a Reaper noise. I don't think it's a coincidence that we're seeing them on this ice planet. You know, it's just like I hate to bring up another Star Wars reference, but it's just like Star Wars. Once Return of the Jedi, they blow up the second Death Star, the Empire's defeated. There's a lot of Star Destroyers that are just crashed on different planets and stuff, which I always thought was cool. But somehow they came back in the end, so it's kind of that could happen again in Mass Effect 4 or 5, depending on
Four
what
slash five
Force
slash whatever the fuck.
Mass Effect 4, the fifth sequel.
Yeah, literally.
So, um, and like we can jump to like the part where they're on the planet and stuff. Do you want to do that, or was there something that you did in between that you
No,
did a deep dive?
no. Yeah, I went like after the like I saw it, and after that part in the mass relays, I went to the planet thing. Honestly, I don't think those Reapers are like alive. Like
No, no, no,
to like
definitely
I think
destroyed.
they're just like yeah, they're like, dead Reapers.
Yeah,
To me, um in a way, okay, so when I saw that, and Liara was walking on something that, yeah, it looked kind of like a mountain, but it had a weird kind of tube
I thought it was another
thing
Reaper.
like down the side. I was like, yeah, that's basically another Reaper. It's fucking impossible for it not to be.
I mean, yeah,
So
I thought it was a dead giveaway at that point.
yeah, so I was like, okay, mm,
Well, it's
like if I connected what
sorry, go ahead.
like if I connected with the Reaper sound and all that, I'd have to say that like this is you know, kind of showing like with the sound and everything, to me it's kind of showing like, okay, the Reaper Warrior did happen and like this is the result.
Yeah, which I always
This is
think
what's
like yeah,
left
I always
here.
think that would be such a cool thing to see how the world's dealing with the post-war efforts. God, I can't talk right now. How are people just dealing with it all? Like the aftermath. It's always sometimes the aftermath is more affected than what's happening during the war, which is unfortunate. Um, hence why World War II happened, because Germany got the short end of the stick after World War One, and then Hitler wasn't too happy with that, and look where that turned out. So it could be something like
Yeah.
that. Like somebody thought they were treated unfairly, and then go on a
Yeah.
massive rampage, and the Reapers could be those soldiers that that person needs to get their point across. It happens, like the whole revenge plot thing happens all the time with villains. It's like, I'll get you for destroying my secrets in lab and not treating me with respect type deal. Like that happens so many times with villains. That's like the most basic thing ever.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think like what drew Liara and crew. I'm just gonna say it's Liara, just for argument's sake. Or
It's Liara.
Blue
It's her damn
Asari,
face.
that's
It's
apparently
Liara.
super important all of a sudden. But yeah.
No, but she looks exactly like fucking
Yeah,
Liara.
I don't know.
Like, come on.
It could have been Rex with some makeup and plastic surgery,
Yeah. Yeah, like no, people are super like they're super far fetched. I mean, that's Liara. Like, fuck you. It's
Yeah.
Liara.
So, maybe what's be really badass, and the reason why this is me getting super nerdy, guys. So bear with me. The reason why we heard that Reaper noise, maybe it's just like a dead giveaway of like where the story's taking place, but also maybe that was like a distress noise that they picked up. Like maybe they're somehow Shepard, if let's just go with it, he's still alive. I mean, he's running around naked somewhere on the ice planet. He's somewhere out there. His armor's left behind. I just picture just a little naked Reaper Shepard just running across.
Just like bare ass across.
Just like,
across a
whoa,
frozen
like,
island.
that's weird, dude. But he's like holding himself together, like keeping himself warm with like, what is it called? Like, oh my god,
Biotics.
biotics. Thank you. Jeez, I should probably just leave right now. Just keep himself his buns toasty with some biotics helping him out.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think maybe perhaps there was a distress call that they got. Maybe that Shepard somehow activated a Reaper. And made that noise. I'm so spitballing right here, and I'm just really talking out of my ass. But this is kind of fun to do, to kind of guess the philosophy behind this video.
Yeah.
So somehow they got a distress signal of some kind, and they go out there, and the distress signal was a Reaper sound. I think that would be really cool. Naked Shep with caveman outfit. Yeah, pretty much. Using an Omni blade to like cut down frozen trees or something. I don't know. Just getting resources. God. He's like I kind of want to just talk about caveman Shepherd. He's just like a
That'd be
homeless
so
guy.
fucking funny.
Homeless guy, just like crazy, just bearded and just super hairy, right?
Starts like fucking like drawing Reapers on the caves.
Yeah.
Just like just sketching Reapers and collectors everywhere.
But yeah, and like around those characters, it's like he draws his friends like shooting at the Reapers. He's like, this is nice.
Little fucking stick figures, like not even good drawings, just like stick figures like shooting. And then
Yeah.
pew pew at the
Yeah.
bottom.
So, God, that's like such a cool fanfic to do. Someone do it. Someone do Caveman Shep fanfic on Ice Planet. That'd be hilarious.
With Liara.
But just remember to put Satan and I in there as like inspiration. Okay. Anyway, royalties and all. So yeah, we see her crawl up the Reapers and stuff. Which, oh my god, that whole part was so cool to see. Like, I really like when they do like the scale, like person to the Reaper scale thing. You got a really good idea to see how fucking big these things were or are in when we're talking about this video. They're massive. So just imagine you're just chilling in your room watching YouPorn or something, and all of a sudden this giant shadow just envelops your house and pretty much your entire city. And it's just this massive fucking Reaper just landing on there. It's huge. Huge. I mean, we got the gist of how big they were in Mass Effect 3 by a lot. That was like actually one of my favorite parts about Mass Effect 3 is seeing them just roam around causing mayhem. And you just can't help but be in awe by how massive they were. But like this trailer really gave us a prime example of like how tiny Liara is and how big these Reapers are. It's such a great thing. And there's different kinds of reapers. There's like the assault reapers, and then there's ones that kind of just like I don't know. They're just like the tall, lengthier ones. Then you got like the more tanky looking ones, which I didn't know there was a difference between them until I played like Mass Effect 3. I was like, oh, okay, they have different types of reapers, which I thought was cool. It kind of gives them more of like a personality complex or something. So,
Yeah.
how did that make you feel when you saw that? When you saw this little, like, because we didn't know who the figure was. When you saw this little figure walking on this Reaper, like, what was going through your mind at the time?
Honestly, like nothing. For some reason, like I can't say that like, oh my god, I knew it was Liara the whole time, but like when I saw that it was Liara, I also wasn't surprised at all. So I was like, okay, N7, and then like, oh, Liara's face, blah blah blah. When I did like what I did see, like I thought it was interesting because like you get the gist that it's Mass Effect, and then you see this random ass like cold planet and just someone walking
Yeah,
on it, which looked female. So I was like, okay. And there were Reapers in the background, so I was like, okay, who is old enough and looks female to be able to be in this position where Reapers are dead, you
yeah.
know? I was like, it's not gonna be Tally. Like she'd get a fucking cold and die.
She'd get a cold while she
So
was
I
in
I
the
I'd
cold.
she'd be like, dude, COVID would be basically like her worst enemy.
Yeah. Oh God.
Basically, and a Quarian's worst nightmare would be COVID. No, but like, yeah, I think, yeah. Honestly, I didn't think anything of it, but I did kind of be like, okay, this like if it's Mass Effect, I'm hearing like Reaper sounds. I mean, come on, it's Liara.
Yeah.
Let's be real, like
Especially the
it's
voice
Liara.
and stuff too that we heard. That
Yeah,
like her talking. Um, I mean, it's okay. So if it's not Liara, well, it's definitely not fucking Phoebe. That's for damn sure. She wouldn't even know
yeah,
what
it's not
how to.
Ashley.
She wouldn't know how to. Well, I'm just talking about for like for Asari's sake, like that who's been a part of your crew. There's no way in
Oh
hell they're
yeah.
gonna put Phoebe. You would know right from the get go that it was Phoebe because the whole trope of her being super ugly.
Oh my god, PB was fucking annoying.
So, so here's a good question for you, Saint, and the people in the chat. I appreciate you guys being here, and I'm glad you guys really appreciate the caveman Shep or farmer Shep. Which I'm not too opposed to that because it kind of makes sense. I just want to see it the most bombastic way possible. He's just like in the nude or something, just like, yeah, I'm in my cave. Wow, I need food.
Yeah, just like creepy and
Like he
weirded
pulls
out.
he pulls like a Yoda. There's so much Star Wars references. Star Wars is just that great. And Empire Strikes Back where Yoda's like all fucking crazy and kooky, because that was a part of his like facade to make sure no one he's to
Yeah.
know he's a Jedi Master. But anyway, but like that was Shepard's like persona for a while, and you gotta like snap him back into reality. It's like shaking him like, God damn it, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Reapers. So why Liara? That's a good question. Why is it Liara and not your homeboy of all homeboys, Garrus? Or why isn't it Rex? Why isn't it Ashley? I mean, for God's sake, even Caden. Anybody else? Why Liara? Why use her voice? I'm not like bashing on it or anything. I'm just curious. Why do you think it was Liara that was the one that's doing the? Oh, maybe I just answered my own question. I was about to say, why is she doing the so-called digging? I'm like, duh, because that's what she does for a fucking living. And I guess she has the most knowledge when it comes to this shit. Okay, now it makes sense. All right, I rest my case. Good night, everybody. But
To me, I don't know. Like to me personally, I think it's just kind of I think Liara has always been kind of maybe like not so subtly, like if you read like the comments and stuff like that and what Liara went through to get Shepard, like I think she's kind of like that main canon for Shepard, even though like no one admits it and everyone's like, oh my god, I love Ashley or Caden or whoever the
no,
fuck they
Liara's.
are. But
Hmm.
yeah, Liara is like the one that saves Shepard's ass like always. So like it wouldn't make sense to be like, oh yeah, Ashley's saving her, and she looks old. We'll get into that obviously, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't think Rex. would go through that trouble to look for Shepard.
I don't
Okay, I
think he
really
can get
doubt
up
it.
a Reaper, like let alone climb one. You've seen him walk, or like Krogans walk like penguins almost, but like more of like they're hunched over though in a way.
Ooh, look. Fulgrim said like, "Ooh, what about seeing an older grunt? That would be fucking bomb." And he could very easily be alive, right?
Yeah,
Like they last like
he
Asari and
you
Krogans
you're
last
yeah you're
really
basically
long.
his surrogate daddy in Mass Effect 2, and you literally see like day one of him like being out in the real world. So yeah, I mean, if we're going to be talking about characters in general, we'll actually get to that in a second because that's actually at the end of the trailer. So you know, I'll go back to what I said. Liara is key because Asari take a long time to age and to pass away. And there's like this huge tiers like class like caste system. She could be a matriarch at that point. If it's many years in the future, and that's just going by if Andromeda 2 is a part of this storyline still, which I don't want. See, here's the thing. I'm literally about to pull a Star Wars reference. So I'm gonna try to hold myself back. Um,
Jesus Christ.
I don't want. I can't help it. It's a good example or a good analogy.
Yeah, you just can't, dude. You're like fucking Yoda. You're like gonna just bring out Darth Vader and just
So
compare him to Reapers.
so I don't look. If you didn't like Andromeda, many people didn't. If you did, then that's fine. Here's the thing. I don't want them to omit Andromeda because I don't like it when they do that. I don't want them to pull like a clean slate thing because Andromeda at least kept in its own galaxy and was trying to be its own entity, even though some elements came from the original franchise. But I don't want it to be a race. No, like I don't. It's just the black sheep in the group. More black sheep than the ending for Mass Effect 3. Um, and I just don't seem. I just don't think it would be smart to do that because there's already an established storyline and plot devices there. However way you see it, because also I couldn't do it myself. Like as much as I hated somebody's work, if I hated Andromeda, I'm not gonna want to erase it and try to make it non-canon. Like I don't want to do that. Like that's just not
Yeah.
right. As like from an artist to an artist perspective, or from an artist perspective, it just wouldn't be nice to do. Despite Andromeda being trash, but I still want it to be incorporated somehow in the story. If it somehow takes place, both of them coincide somehow. I said somehow like 5 times in less than 10 seconds, but besides the point. Um, and they just got to be smart about it, right? And Andromeda can be very controversial, so hopefully they don't go super. Like my opinion, I hope they don't go super heavy with Andromeda plot devices going on and stuff. I just hope it's mainly in the Milky Way and we see our favorite crew. That's all I'm saying. Um,
Hmm.
so the most key pivotal moment that I was scared. By the way, this was the scariest. The scariest part was the part where Liara takes the piece off the armor. And you know what was going through my mind when I saw the initial design with the snow on it? I thought that was the Andromeda Initiative pin, like on there. I was about to just like die on the inside. I was just about to die. And then it was like the biggest like ball buster ever. And then I was just like, oh, thank God. As soon as she wipes away the snow, it said N7. I'm like, oh my God. Whew. Like that was going to make it or break it for me. Did you have that same vibe
Yeah.
too?
Honestly, I did not have an Andromeda Initiative vibe. When I saw that everything from from the moment when we saw mass relays and we started seeing Reaper, like hearing Reaper sounds, I was like, okay. They're probably gonna leave like Andromeda as a side story or like something that
A
like
spin-off.
exists,
Yeah.
a spin-off exactly, I honestly didn't even like think about Andromeda. Like once I heard those sounds, man, I was like, oh, okay, they're not gonna bring Andromeda into this. They're not gonna be that stupid.
Well, you see, that's the thing. I was just, I'm not saying your guard wasn't up, but I had my guard up like quite a bit. And,
Yeah.
the, uh, the sky's the limit apparently at this point. And BioWare's been throwing a lot of curveballs in the past 5 years. So, sorry, it's all that bullshit I'm trying to clear up. Ugh. Um, you know, it's like if I saw Andromeda Initiative or anything Andromeda related, I would be like, okay, boy, am I not surprised. I'd be hugely disappointed. But I'm actually relieved and surprised that I did go with the N7 route and stuff like that, um, because of like everything that's happened. Some people, okay, some people just don't like to admit or like to stop working on something that they've already started because it's a pride thing. You don't want to admit that your game sucked or your movie sucked. There's plenty of people like that out there that they want to not admit that it's trash and they blame it on this, this, and that. And then they kind of just want to keep
Yeah.
going with it and just not, just not owning up to, yeah, I made a shitty movie. I'm sorry. I'm not asking for an apology or anything, but I'm just saying, like, uh, this is a good way for them to kind of show that they understand where we're coming from and what Andromeda did to polarize. Besides the Mass Effect 3's ending, to polarize the Bioware as a franchise. Honestly, it was that bad with
Yeah.
Andromeda and Anthem and the Mass Effect 3 ending. So it was the smartest thing that they could have done. Don't fix what isn't broken, you know.
Mm.
And talking about bringing back the whole Mass Effect trilogy vibes in that trailer was the smartest thing they've done. Uh, and just by showing Liara and then that the Reapers and then the N7, plate and stuff, which I thought that was done so well. It was so cool. There is a caveman shepherd out there just living inside of a Reaper cave or something.
Yeah.
And so let's get to the next best part. The characters in the
Please.
background. So do you think that's I was just okay, if this was like a true direct sequel to 3, if it wasn't forward in time. Because initially I thought that the background characters were 1, Morton Solus, 2, Garrus, and 3, Rex. And because, they've been such a pivotal part of your crew. And I know all those characters can. What's great is that all those characters can die in Mass Effect, but they were like the really really important characters you needed in Mass Effect trilogy to kind of get the story going. So who did you think those characters were?
Honestly, I didn't think they were like anyone important. Like I thought
Ah,
like they
interesting.
were like I when I to me they wouldn't like I don't know, put like a Solarian if the Solarian like didn't die. Like when I saw that there was a Solarian, I was like, okay, these people probably aren't important. Like they're like I think they're part of okay, this when we get to the theories to like what we actually think, I'll say what I thought it was. Like
I think it.
cuz
I
if
mean,
I say it now, I'm kind of just talking about my theory.
oh well, that's
So,
fine because that's part of the deep dive. Honestly, so yeah, let us hear it,
okay.
please.
My theory is some like a group of people, like to me, a group of people found Shepard first, like before Liara or before anyone else in their crew did.
Mm-hmm.
And why am I saying this? Well, take into account that this is obviously the destroy ending because the armor would not be there if it were any other kind of ending,
Yeah, yeah,
right? What I think is probably some a group of people found him, her, whatever, on the Citadel and took them, you know, somewhere else because someone can say, "Oh yeah, it's just the armor." Like they just took the armor. Then why is it on the floor though? Like if the armor was the important thing, we wouldn't see the armor. So
yeah.
that means like Shepard is somewhere. So I think those people are kind of like part of that team that was kind of, protecting Shepard or like, kind of guarding Shepard in a way.
You know,
That it
it's
could be, you never know.
it's interesting. Maybe because there's a group like a focus group of some kind that's been trying to look for him, like some deep cover. I don't know, society or agency, and maybe Liara is a part of it.
Yeah.
She is the shadow broker, by the way. I totally forgot that. She
Yeah.
is the shadow. No wonder she'll be in this trailer looking for Shepard. She has all the resources. For one, she's an archaeologist, paleontologist, whatever you want to call it, repertologist, protheontologist, whatever. And then also she's the
Tologist.
tologist. And also she's the shadow broker. So you better best believe that she's gonna try to look for a blip of something that hits her like a freight train. Someone like not even like maybe she's eavesdropping on a conversation like, oh, I heard a rumor about this figure that was wearing this N7 armor or that looked like Shepard. Like you'll hear some pretty cool rumors about it, and she's gonna own in on it, which I think, like I said before, is really badass. And she meets those like looking for Shepard. Totally cool storyline for sure. I think it'd be awesome. And then she, like you were saying, she meets those people that heard something about it, and they take her along for the ride. And I think it'd be really cool to
Yeah.
play Liara to Sony as the main character until you uh, get to a certain point where you make your own character. You know, um,
Yeah.
maybe she gets there and something happens to her and her crew, and then the character that you make, or who knows, maybe the character you make is a part of that survey crew or something. I don't know. And then you get
Yeah.
somehow
But
thrown into the most craziest of all plots ever.
yeah, like what I think honestly, like just like the basis, like, basis part of this game is Shepard is missing, right? There's no body. Shepard is missing. And the like on top of that, like it's you as a player seeing how the world has dealt with the Reaper Wars, what actually happened after the Destroy ending. To
Yeah.
me, that's basically going to be like the premise. And if people are like, oh my god, then how is Shepard alive? Like, he's still human. Like, okay, cybernetics can explain why, she might last longer.
Yeah.
And
Maybe.
cryo is a thing. Like, cryo is like a pretty well-known technology in Mass Effect, so it wouldn't be shocking at all if they bring someone from the fucking dead to just put them in cryo. Like,
Yeah.
I
I
wouldn't be
mean,
surprised at all.
somehow that he got himself into cryo, and somebody took him away while he's in cryo to this planet of some kind, and he's just chilling there. Just he's like he's seriously. Oh my god, this this adds more to the caveman theory. He's a frozen caveman. Oh my god, fucking he's a cryostasis caveman. That's hilarious. He experienced an ice age, from what we saw in the trailer. God, that's so good, Saint. I'm proud of you. This is great. Okay, so do you think? So how do you think he even got to that ice planet? Like, what is your thoughts on that? Do you think he's even on that planet and his armor just somehow ended up there by accident, or dot dot dot?
I think honestly, I think that I'm between two theories. The first one being, what I told you, like about a group of people finding him first and him being like, okay, I need to wait for my crew, put me in cryo. Like that would be my first, guess. The second one would be him putting himself in cryo, right? And then someone finding the pod and just like taking it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like to me the premise like would still be like, okay, Shepard's missing. What the hell happened to Shepard?
Yeah.
Like to me, because I mean, let's be honest, some people are like, oh, maybe they just want to put N7. Like, okay, no one's gonna put Shepard's fucking destroyed armor on the floor just to be like, oh yeah, it's just it's another human that's an N7. Come on,
No.
no,
No.
not even
No.
close. Yeah, we're
They're
looking for
not that
James. Yeah,
retarded.
that's not gonna happen.
They're not that retarded. Yeah, he finally
Yeah,
made it.
no,
No.
he finally made it. Yeah.
I mean, it would be cool to get like a type of N7 cadet program type, or like like a character you make who's in the N7 program. I think that's fine, but like that initial armor right
Yeah,
there, come on.
yeah, that's
Why would
not
they
something
put?
else.
There's
So
just no logic behind that. If they would put a random N7, like how monumental those two, uh, uh, whatever I guess letter and numbers are. It's a pretty iconic
yeah.
combination. It just doesn't happen by like, oh, must be a cadet of some kind. No, no.
Mm.
Like
Yeah,
why?
and
Yeah, and why would
it's
Liara
yeah.
care? She wouldn't care that
Exactly.
much.
and like King Aragorn, I'm sorry, I can't read, but
That's his name.
Snow Planet is the crash site of the first death of a separate. He was in coma. That's actually a good theory. Like he could easily be just in coma.
Hmm.
But the thing is that part, like that theory wouldn't explain why Liara is, old. Like you can like I get like the maybe the face wrinkles like here on her cheeks because he had that in 3, but her eyes, dude, they look aged. I mean, come on. She looks
Well,
staged.
she got stressed out when Shepard, disappeared. You know how it goes. People tend to get a lot older looking with stress. For her,
Yeah.
it hit her real hard. Um,
We hit her real hard.
I honestly think, yeah. Bottom line, the trailer did a great job on giving us an idea where the story is going to take place, and it got me sure as shit excited. It makes me look forward to more things from Bioware when it comes to Mass Effect. Already, okay, this is crazy. When I saw this teaser trailer for the first time, I'm like, this teaser trailer showed me more of what it's gonna be about and what the point is than Dragon Age 4 did. And I'm like, how is this? How? I got goosebumps, let's just say, from this trailer more than like Dragon Age 4 ever did for me, which is kind of upsetty spaghetti for me, but just
Yeah.
suspense. Suspense does wonders. That's what they're doing with Mass Effect. At the end of it, it says Mass Effect will continue. No number, nothing, no release date. Just like Dragon Age. So yeah, suspense is definitely going to be the fruit, the low hanging fruit here. Um,
Definitely. Yeah.
so now that we have that out of the way, now we're just waiting to see stuff on the Legendary Edition. They better hurry up. They got about like 3 months. They're taking their sweet ass time. Honestly, I think they should have showed some legendary gameplay at the Video Game Awards. Shit, that would have been like the perfect time. Like after you show the Mass Effect 4
Yeah.
trailer, it would have been fucking dope. But it'll
It
come.
would have.
It'll come. I just thought it was cool that we got a Dragon Age and a Mass Effect trailer. That doesn't happen very often, by the way, people. Hope you know that, where you get to see two big franchises release trailers in that regard. So, anything else that you did in the deep dive of your video? Did we miss something?
No, like other than like the ship being part of what they put on the Bioware blog, like the ship where the background characters were, like
Yeah,
it's kind of frame for frame, except that they changed the land.
yeah,
No, did you see that picture? Like on the Bioware blog, it's
yeah,
like the
yeah.
exact same ship, and it's pretty like generic. Like I tried to see like if there was any kind of colors or like I don't know, maybe orange. Okay, orange is like okay, yeah, that's Cerberus, like an old Cerberus ship or something like that. But no.
Okay.
Also, maybe Liara's old because mass relays are damaged. I mean, like it's still like from one place to another in a whole galaxy is like a pretty far off journey, to look for someone.
Yeah, but they could just. It's still up in the air. They could easily just pull a Mass Effect Andromeda and just put everybody in. She could put herself in cryo for all we know, and she couldn't have aged a day, right? It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
galaxy to galaxy. She could easily have just went light speed for a while, or just drifted in space, and just went cryo, and then many moons later, she wakes up. It's like, oh, okay, we're finally here. But then it wouldn't. Then it's like, what about those people, those scientists that told her about it? Are they dead? or
Yeah.
did they go in cryo with Shepard? They're like, Shepard, you got any room in there in your Reaper cave?
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, there's still plenty of things that are obviously are going to be answered, left unanswered for sure. That will be seen definitely in the years to come. I think the next time we'll probably see anything about it is the next big like gaming convention. What is that? It's not Gamescom. It's not PAX. I think it's is it just E3?
E3?
Is that the next big one? Like I bet you anything we'll see something about it there, which would be really cool. At that point, we'll definitely see Dragon Age gameplay for sure. I could see that happening. God, I hope. But then at that point, we'll get a good idea of where the Legendary Edition has taken us for sure. We'll know if it was worth our money. I mean, I'm gonna buy it anyway, just so I could say I played it and
Yeah.
experienced it, and I can have something to talk about. And then I'll just get all those achievements again, just like I did with the original trilogy. Booyah!
Jesus.
I know.
That's a flex.
It is.
That's a flex.
It is a nerd flex that I'm always proud of. It's the only games I've ever 100% got all the achievements was the original Mass Effect games. Only on the Xbox 360 though. All other platforms, no. PC, no. Xbox One, no. PS4, no. Wait, you can't play it on PS4, but I said Xbox One because of backwards compatibility. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we're going to be talking about with the deep dive of this. Wow, time went by really fast talking about this. That was crazy.
Honestly, it did. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty shocked of how.
Yeah, we were kind of like
Damn.
straight to the point too. I felt like we didn't talk about anything. Like, I seriously just want to do a giant discussion of Caveman Shepherd and how that's even possible. Like, I'm not letting that one go, folks.
A bare ass shepherd
Bear,
just running across the savannah.
yeah, just like
The tundra.
I'm in my cave, crazy. The Reapers. Whoa, Garrus. Who's Garrus? Like, he's just fucking nuts. He's like a Tom Hanks though. He's got a volleyball next to him. Instead of a volleyball, it's like I don't know. Oh God, like some kind of tech, like Prothean tech, and it has like a face drawn on it. It's Garrus.
Imagine him beating a Reaper corpse with a pointy stick.
Yeah, there's something stupid like that. God, we can only hope. So, I think we definitely talked about all we need to talk about. I think we did a good job diving deep. So, I have been your host, NikoTheLegend, also known as the One-Manner Teenager and the Snowflake, and it's been a pleasure, of course, and always with the lovely Saintwolvinn. So, you can find her on where again?
YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. All of them are Saintwolvinn. It's gaming news and sometimes some streams and sometimes some Nico. So
Yeah,
you get to watch all that.
I'm the hiccup, that she has to deal with everything.
The hiccup.
Ha 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 ha. So yeah, appreciate you guys being here, of course, and there's gonna be plenty more stuff to talk about. Like, I'm riding the Mass Effect milk train for a very long time. I've been doing that for the past couple of years or a few years, so it's never gonna stop. And if you like what I have to bring to the table when it comes to Mass Effect, then you'll definitely like what Saint has to talk about, what she brings to the table with Mass Effect. So I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
See ya.